Okay, good day. Welcome to our lecture video for today. We will be talking about articulation in this lecture video. So, what do you think is articulation? It is the act of giving utterance. What I am doing now is that I am producing an utterance. Every time you will have a conversation with anyone, you are producing an utterance. Or every time you produce a series of sounds of a particular language, you are giving an utterance. So, upon giving an utterance, the speaker must decide which active articulators, we have the lips or the tongue, will be used to make a construction. What do you mean by construction? It means that you have what part or when to exert a force to produce a sound. So where the construction will be made, or we call that place of articulation, and what sort of construction will be made, or we call that manner of articulation. So this is a very simple topic. So before going into the place and manner of articulation, let's have a short review of what we have discussed in our last lecture video. So we talk about the types of articulators. There are two types of articulators. Again, we have the active articulators and the passive articulators. So the difference between the two is quite obvious from the term active and passive themselves. When you say active, it's always moving, like you are very active. It means you are full of energy. When you say passive, it means that it is relaxed. It is lazy. It is not moving a lot. Okay? So upon conversation or upon producing an utterance, you can observe what are the parts of your speaking mechanism that are moving a lot. So observe, we have the lips and the tongue, which are always moving, and the other parts of the mouth are just passive. So active articulators include the lips. We have the upper lip and the lower lip, which can be opened or closed, open or closed, pursed or spread. And we also have the tongue. The tongue, even if it is just a muscle, it has no cartilage, it is boneless, yet this is a very important part of our speaking mechanism. We have the tip, we have the blade, we have the front, the dorsum or the body of the tongue, and the root. So aside that it is an essential part of our body for uh, tasting, or for the sense of taste, it is also a very important part of our speaking mechanism. What are the passive articulators? Of course, the lazy parts. So we have the alveolar ridge, the post-alveolar region, the hard palate, the soft palate or velum, and the uvula. We can easily understand where these are by simply curling our tongue from the back of your upper teeth. So start from the back of your upper teeth. So the rough part of at the back of your upper teeth again is the alveolar ridge, and the arcing part after the alveolar ridge is called the post-alveolar region. It is still quite rough here, but it's a sliding part. The hard palate is the deeper part above your dorsum or above the body of the tongue. So it's quite slippery in terms of if if it's like a road, it's slippery. Mm. So it is easy to access. But if you really push your tongue backward really, really hard, that one, that's the soft palate. It is soft. Yes, very soft. Or it is called the velum. And after the velum, you can see a little pink pendulum hanging at the entrance, no, of your esophagus. That's the ovula. Okay, they are just lazy, but they also play an important role in the production of utterances. So after knowing that there is a need for us to decide whether what part of our speaking mechanism or what articulators we have to use, either the passive or the active articulators, we have to have right, or we have to have an alphabet that will be used to represent the sounds. Why? Because the sounds are abstract. We cannot see them. So we really need to have a representation. So we call it transcription. So after talking about articulation, that topic is only a stepping stone to our main topic for today, which is transcription. So we have the International Phonetic Alphabet Transcription. This is crafted in 1888 by the International Phonetic Association based in Paris. Thanks to them, they tackled the problem of how to precisely describe any sound of the members might encounter in their efforts, or the sound the members might encounter in their efforts to describe all the languages of the world. Take note, all the languages of the world. So they publish symbols for new alphabet, the International Phonetic Alphabet. They call it IPA. So the IPA is based on two principles. First, the alphabet would be universal. What do you mean by universal? It means that it must be used in any languages of the world. It must be applied for any languages of the world. So the second is the alphabet would be unambiguous. It means that each sound of a language must have a certain symbol or a certain representation to avoid ambiguity. Okay? So there are four versions of IPA. First is the Kenyon knot, the Prater, the Traeger-Smith, and the PCLS. So some professors would require you to use a certain version. So some would prefer PCLS since it is very clear. It is very close to the American alphabet or the phonetic sound itself. So the version that I am using here is the Prater version. So we have the Prater version. So before having examples of the phonemic symbols of the Prater version, we will differentiate first the two segmental phonemes in the general American English language. So this is very common since you started your education way back when you were in kindergarten. You already talk about the vowel and the consonant sounds. So when you say vowel, there is a there is no obstruction of air when you produce it. Like vowel is a speech sound made with your mouth fairly open, the nucleus of a spoken syllable. Why it is called the nucleus? Because you can rarely see a word without a vowel. So there are a few, but for example, the word rhythm, even if there are no vowel letters in that word, there are still vowel sounds. So you will know later. Okay, so the second is the consonant. Consonant is a sound made with your mouth fairly closed. So there is much exertion of force. There is a friction. So like for vowel we have ah. So the mouth is open. For consonant we have m. Mother. So fairly closed. Not totally closed, but you can see that there is really an obstruction of air to produce a sound. So that's the difference between the vowel and the consonant sound. So the vowels in the IPA are named according to technical names. I'm referring to technical names. Tell four things about a sound. The first is the height of the tongue. We have the high, the mid, and the low. This is upon the production of the sound. The second, the portion of the tongue that is raised or lowered. We have the front, the central, and the back. So third is the tenseness of the tongue. It is either tense or lax. And then next is the rounding of the lips, round or unrounded. Okay, so we have here the names. So this is very systematic. We have the, for the technical, we have the high front and round vowel, high front lax and round vowel. But for the traditional, we have the long E sound, the short I sound, the long A sound, the short E sound, the short A sound, and so on. So take note of these terms for you not to be confused. So I have here the chart. So we have the front, the central, the back, we have the high, the mid, and the low. Okay, go back to the names. We have the height of the tongue, we have the high, mid, low. In the portion of the tongue, we have the front, central, back. Therefore, these are the portions of the tongue, and these are the height of the tongue. So, if you want to name this sound in a traditional, let's have the traditional way of naming this vowel sounds. We have in the alphabet, this is the lowercase I, but in the phonemic symbol, this is the long E. We will call this the long E, like in the word see. And this one is called the short I. The short I, like in the word sit, sit, sit. And we also have here the long E. No, not the long E. The long, it's quite confusing because we will be confused by the American alphabet and the phonetic alphabet. So we have here the long A, okay, like in the word bait. So do not be confused. It's quite tricky. Then we also have here for central vowel the schwa. This is the stressed schwa. So here, but in the prayer version, stressed or unstressed, the symbol is still the same. In other versions, the symbol for the unstressed schwa is the like that. Okay, the semi-triangle at the top of the vowel sound. Next, uh, we have the short e. Short e. Okay, like in the word bet. We also have the short a like in the word bat, bag, math. So we have here the long oo in the word booth. We have the short oo in the word book, look. We have also the long o in the word boat. We have, this has no traditional name. So this is, I will call this half moon in my own bias. So this one is the short O. You might be confused why this seems to be A, but this is called the short O because this symbol is used in transcribing words like top, mop. So the spelling of the words uses the letter O, but the sound is mop, ah, mop, like that. Okay, so don't be confused. I prefer to call these vowels traditionally, like long e and because with this there are four characteristics of the vowel that you need to say, like high, front, and round vowel. No, it's quite confusing. So I prefer to call those vowels traditionally with their traditional names. Okay, so we will proceed to the consonants. Like after this, you will be able to transcribe some words. So this is the place and the manner of articulation that I was talking about. So we have here the places of articulation and the manner of articulation. The places are the bilabial, the labioduntal, the dental, the alveolar, the palatal, the velar, and the glottal. Okay, we also have here for manner of articulation, we have the plosives, the fricative, the affricate, the nasal, and the liquid and the glide. We also have the variation of phonemes like voiceless, voiced, voiceless, voiced. So that one. So when you will see the place of articulation, you will see it's bilabial if it's using the two parts of your lips. No, labi, bilabial. So upper lip and the lower lip, like in the sound and b, b. So I'm not producing any sound in the sound since it's voiceless, like in the word pin. Then for the voice bilabial, we have the b, b, like in the word bin, bin. And we also have so bilabial, mum, mum. So still using the two lips, the upper lip and the lower lip. We have also the wine, wine. So if you observe, we are using the upper again and the lower lip. So let's focus on the place of articulation first. So the wa, the sound wa is voice, wa, wa. And also the m, m, m. So that's voiced. For labiodental, we have here the sound and the sound v. I did not produce the sound of this since it's voiceless, and this v is the voiced, like in the word very, the word fairy. So why labiodental? Because we are only using the upper lip and the lower no, the upper teeth and the lower lip, like so labiodental. So as easy as that. Next, we have the dental, like the, the. So this is inverted in my chart. No, this one is, I stand corrected. This is the voiced. Take note, this is the voiced and this is the voiceless. So okay, take note of the correction. I was mistaken. So like in the word then and thin, thin. Okay, so it's dental because you are using your teeth. So to be specific, it is interdental. Yeah, inter because it's between the upper teeth and the lower teeth. Then thin. Okay? So next we have the alveolar. We have that. Where is your alveolar ridge again? It is at the back of your upper teeth. So here we have the sound of voiceless and the sound d, 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 d. So be sure that the tip of your tongue is touching your alveolar ridge. So some would pronounce as t, t, d, d. No, that's not right. That's t, d. Okay? Like in the word tin, dine. So next we have still for alveolar. This is called the place of articulation is alveolar or the alveolar ridge. So for the voices we have and we have the voice z, z. So this one is for the word su and this one is for the word zoo. Okay? You will still notice that your alveolar ridge is being touched by the tip of your tongue. This one, none, none. Okay, very clear. Still at the alveolar ridge. So don't, okay, go back. Next we have the liquid voiced. Still at the alveolar ridge. Still with the tip of your tongue. Next we have the palatal. So like in the sound sh, sh. So that's voiceless, so we are not supposed to produce the sound really. Sh. The other one is sh, like in the word vision. That's vision, not vision. No, that's not vision, that's vision. Like for the voiceless counterpart, we have the word she. So why palatal? So why palatal? Because you are using your palate, like shh. So the body of your tongue is touching the palate above. So that's after the alveolar, post-alveolar region, like shh. Okay? Do you see or do you feel that your dorsum or the body of your tongue is touching your palate? Yeah, that's why that's called palatal. We also have here the ch sound, ch, like in the word church, 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 and judge, judge. Okay, judge. So be sure that the tip of your tongue is not touching the alveolar, because if you do that, judge, judge, no, that's judge, judge. So the body of the tongue is touching the palate again. So we have the liquid like in the word road, road. So the tip of your tongue is trying to curl to the palate. Like also in this sound, yeah, 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 yeah. So the side of your, or the side of the, or the blade of your tongue is touching also the palate. So as simple as that. We also have the velar. So the velar is of course at the back of or next to your palate. So like k, k. So the center part of your tongue is touching the velum. K, k, k. So that's actually voiceless. So we are not supposed to produce the sound. So k, k. The counterpart, the voiced counterpart is g, 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 like in the word go. In the counterpart, the voices counterpart is like in the word kin, kin. Okay? Do you feel your velum? Go, go. Okay, as simple as that. Next, we have the word sing, sing. So this is the symbol for ng. Take note of this. This is a very unique symbol. So sing, sing. So I really feel my velum. How about you? Okay. We also have here the sound. This is voiceless. Like in the word her. Her. It's not hair. You will not pronounce this word as hair. This is her. Her. Okay. So take note of all the places of articulation. You don't need to memorize all this. You just need to execute and feel the place where, or feel where the tongue landed. Tongue or what articulator was used. Any articulators. You will see how our speaking mechanisms are moving, and then you will be able to not really see but feel. You will be able to identify what place of articulation. Again, no need to memorize, just execute the sound and you will be able to identify the place of articulation. So for manners of articulation, it's how you articulate the sound. Like in the plosives, it means it's like an explosion. From plo, plop, explosion, like p, b, b. So there is an abrupt release of air. T, t, d, d, g, g. Okay? From the word blow, blows, so explosion. Remember that. B. Okay, we also have the fricative, like there is a prolonged release of air. Take note of my very short description. I'm making it easy for you. There is a prolonged release of air. Like, okay, prolong. And affricate, I call this affricate as the frustrated fricative. It means it is halted fricative or prevented or deprived fricative, or how do you call that? Cut, cut, no? You cut the prolonged release of air, like the ch, j, j, j. So it is not as long as the fricative releasing of air. So next, we also have the nasal. So from the word nose, you will be releasing an air. Like, So since it's bilabial, there is no releasing of air out from the mouth. So the releasing of air is done out from the nose. So that's why it's called nasal. So It's tickling at the nose, inside the nose, like, right there. You can sense the vibration. Next, we have the liquid. Why it's called liquid? Okay, so it it is flowy. No? One way of remembering the sound is flowy, like as simple as that. Next is glide. No, one way of remembering this sounds is like it's wah, yeah. So it is quite abrupt in a gliding way. Whine, wah, whine, yeah, yeah. Okay. So that's how simple places and manners of articulations are. So next, let's apply the learnings. The learning. So phonemic transcription. There are two types of transcription actually. We have the phonemic and the phonetic transcription. What's the difference between the two? The phonemic transcription is also known as broad transcription, and it involves representing speech using just a unique symbol for each phoneme of a language. So don't worry, I will only be requiring you phonemic transcription as of the moment, since this is a little bit easier compared to phonetic transcription. You will do phonetic transcription if you are already very expert in transcription. Okay, so for phonemic transcription, we will be using angle bracket or the 2/. For the phonetic transcription, for example, this one. So for the phonetic transcription, we will just go back here. It is also known as a narrow transcription that involves representing additional details about the contextual variations in pronunciation that occur in normal speech. So you can see it even in the Webster dictionary. For example, that's one. So this is using the square bracket. Take note of the difference between the square bracket and the angle bracket. So this is quite strict. So if you are required of the phonemic transcription, be sure to use the angle bracket or the 2/, beside the transcription. So let's have a practice transcription. Okay, for the word bake, so this is the transcription. Take note, we have the long A, the K, no, no. So we will not actually call this one K. If we have to be strict, this is k, k, b, b. Okay, like that, because these are phonemic sounds, not alphabets. So this one, pen. Look at how this is transcribed. Tap, we have the a. So if you go to phonetic transcription, you have to include an H symbol here to mean that this sound has to be how do you call that, aspirated. So if it is the initial sound, there is an aspiration, like bake, pen, tap, dine, kin, sheep. So beware of the symbol ship. This short I, long E, short I. We have the chip, 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 chip. Okay, we have the short I. We also have the long E, cheap. So this is the ch, 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 and this one is sh. So, okay, take note of these symbols, phonemic symbols. For math, anya. Okay. For they, this one, the voice th and the a, they. Okay, we have here the her and We also have the vision, we have the short I. Judge, we have the schwa. This is stressed schwa. So on the j sound. We have bot, we have the half moon here, inverted C, or the semi-rounded vowel. So we have the b. So here the boat, the long O, and the t, and the b. Boy with the b, and the long O, or this is actually the diphthong oi, combination of two vowel sounds. We have here the house, still a diphthong how, ow, ow. Then the yellow. Okay, take note. Some transcription would use the J, no, J instead of Y. That's other versions. Next, we have the cur. Okay, never use letter C as a symbol because there is no C symbol in the phonemic alphabet. Okay, so take note. Let's read from the top with aspiration, like bake, pen, tap. So observe the letter P here is not aspirated since it is not found at the initial part of the word tap. No, tap. It's not tap. No, not tap. It's just tap. Dine, king, ship, ship, chip, cheap, math, they, hair, vision, vision, judge, bought, boat, long O, boat, boy, house, yellow, cur. Okay, I don't care. Not I don't care. I don't care. So that's not I don't care again. That's I don't care. Okay, so I hope that's clear. We will have more activities with the same to that in the future and in the next schedule of yours. So phonetic transcription, you will see the difference of the phonetic and the phonemic transcription. It is again using a square bracket, and the details is included like strewn. Here you can see that it has a long vowel represented by the colon diacritic. So strewn, it means it's a long oo. Okay, not strewn. So if you really want to learn the standard pronunciation of a word, we or you better use the phonetic transcription. That's the advantage of phonetic transcription, because with the spelling alone, you might be confused whether it's a long vowel or a short vowel. So with this diacritic symbol, you will be able to know that this is a long vowel. Example also, we have the 10th place. Here you can say that you can see that the 10th has an aspirated initial T, like 10th. So it's not pronounced as 10th, like in the word table, it's table. Time, it's not pronounced as time, table. No, that's the Cebuano version. Cebuano Visayan. So in general American English, you have to aspirate the initial consonant. So like, so there is an H symbol. That's a symbol for aspiration. So you have to aspirate this sound. Tenth. by the superscript, that's called superscript H. So the vowel is nasalized, so represented by the tilde diacritic above the vowel or the short e, like in the tenth. So there is a tilde because it immediately precedes a nasal. Okay, what do you mean by precedes a nasal? It means it comes before a nasal. And where is our nasal here? It's the N. Okay, remember our place of articulation. So the nasal is actually articulated at the interdental place of articulation, represented by the diacritic N, this one, because it immediately precedes an interdental fricative like tenth, tenth, okay, tenth, 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 okay, tenth anniversary, tenth. So therefore, with this description or with this transcription, we will be able to pronounce this word as tenth, tenth. So we are guided. Instead of saying tenth, no, that's not tenth, that's tenth. 10th anniversary. 10th, say 10th. 10th anniversary. Again, the nasal is actually articulated at the interdental, meaning let your tongue out. 10th. Do not be confused like 10th. No, not 10th, not. That's 10th. 10th. Interdental, meaning between the upper teeth and the lower teeth. So take note of the environment affecting the sounds. So we are actually touching phonology. So when you see that the sound preceding or what the sound before a certain sound is affected, that's the relationship between sounds. So that's under phonology. So this is quite interesting if you want to really dig deeper when you study linguistics or linguistic analysis or stylistic analysis. So it's up to you if you really want to dig deeper. So next, we have the word clean. Okay, so since you see a diacritic, it means it's a long vowel. It's a long vowel represented by diacritic, this one. So if you are familiar with the symbols, the phonetic symbols, you might really be certain at every time you will pronounce a word. So, and a voiceless. So there's a small circle below the L. Voiceless, that's an allophone of L. When you say an allophone, that's a phonemic or a phonetic variation of a certain phoneme. So the sound is liquid, this one, the liquid sound. There are a lot of variations, phonemic variations, depending on the surrounding phonemes also. So here it becomes voiceless since it follows another consonant. So instead of producing this as a L, no, it's no longer L, it's already voices like clean. So clean. There is a little effort in this sound L instead of saying L. Clean, relaxed. So that's why there is a small subscript under small subscript circle diacritic, because the normal voice quality of L is suppressed, no? Suppressed by the aspiration of K before it. K. Not really K. I'm really guilty of reading phonemic sounds by the same way with the way I read the alphabet. That's why I'm really encouraging you to read this as K, not K. But I'm using That way for you to really understand easily, because if I will always say, you might wonder what I am saying. So that's an excuse. So I was inserting allophone minutes ago. So this is a very short example of allophone. So I am encouraging you to explore more about allophones. There are a lot of variations. A very simple uh, example of allophone is the aspiration, the aspirated P and the unaspirated P, the aspirated B and the unaspirated B, and many, many more. Like in the word pig, rap, big, rub. So you can see the difference between the two sounds and the two b sounds. So this is aspirated in the initial and not aspirated at the final part of the word. So I hope you have learned a lot from this lecture video. That's enough for this session. We will have more in the future or in the next days to come. Thank you for listening and keep learning. Go outside what go outside the box. So do not rely on what I am discussing to you. It does not mean that you have to be hooked up with the inputs I am giving to you. You may explore. There is no limit. Goodbye and thank you again for watching.